Who want one last trip to the long trail?
We know that their tagline is back to the basics with season 3 in terms of balancing and just like kind of the direction of the game. Some people aren't buying it. Some people, they're like, I heard this before, been there, done that. It's not going to happen. I personally love the trailer and love what I've seen, but there's a lot of people out there who are really skeptical. The first tweet, I'm going to show you guys a bunch of tweets. If Bamco isn't lying about it, going back to basics, they are being transparent, then season 3 is going to be a big improvement. Gotta wait until we see the changes, though, before we get our hopes up. You see this same type of like sentiment over and over and over again. And it's basically the signs of like a traumatized fan base. Someone says, new tactics, defensive patch, back to basics, Bamco, they're funny. Now, you have this big tweet here from FeedX that has 2,400 likes, where he says, from absolute rock bottom, the Tekken team found a way to give us hope and make us hype again. Amazingly well-crafted Season 3 announcement. Refined balance, more conventional, more focused, more deliberate. That was some of the things that they said in the trailer. Boom, showed it on screen. Now, the thing about this is that some people, they're not buying it. This person responds to FeedX and says, love you, FeedX, but this feels so disingenuous. Considering we heard this last year with season 2 for more defense, and we saw how that turned out. I see the words in the trailer, but there's nothing to showcase that. And that makes me hesitant to be hopeful. I love Tekken so much, just wanted to do well. This is kind of sad that players are this like scared to celebrate the game. I don't even view it as people like dooming. I just view it as people being afraid for what the game has done. Here's another tweet, and this is kind of showing you the afraid. Now, I don't know why this account no longer exists. You guys know YOJ99? Their Twitter account no longer exists. I don't know what happened there. I don't know if bro deleted it. I don't know if bro got clapped up. I don't know what happened. But before their Twitter got deleted for whatever reason, people archived the tweet. So you can see the tweet here where, how do you say it? YOJ99. I'll just call him that. Hopefully this means we can finally hit Lily after down to 1+2. So this clip is talking about the new move that Reina got. Reina got that hand palm that now goes into a stance with a homing high, so you can't step. And then here you can see a clip where Lily is able to step after that, right? So you can see how Lily is just easily walking out of it. And now you won't be able to do that. If you try to walk, you get killed, right? So that's an example of like not back to the basics. That sounds like more season 2 if you ask me, right? So a lot of people are latching onto that, and you can see the response says the reason why that Reina stance got a new homing high with a guaranteed follow-up on hit was because there's a gap in the offense. The gap in the offense is not back to the basics. Trying to make sure that the offense is seamless and no gaps and also home in this, home in that. It sounds more like season 2, showing you what the people feel, because the people feel like this whole back to the basics is just marketing and it's not really like back to the basics. And that's one example where they're kind of true. That's one. We've seen a couple of new moves. Lars' new move was awesome, even though it tracks crazy to the left. Reina new move is not back to the basics. Victor's new move, if you really analyze it, looks kind of crazy, but so far, you know, just on the move list side, it doesn't look like back to the basics. Now, who knows what they'll do for balance? I'm really trying to cope for the game, bro. I'm really trying to like cope for the game, because like I like Bob, I like Roger, I like Tekken, I like Kurimitsu. I want them to succeed. But if they're not doing what the people want, then there's nothing I could do. I could cope to the end of the earth, but at that point, I'll just be a shill. I am excited for season 3, but I am still trying to be just see the reality of what's happening. This person says back to the basic, huh? I hope that means universal backdash buff, universal tracking nerfs, frame toned down, mix up damage nerfed, wall carry nerfed, heat last a lot shorter, approach moves nerfed. When I was looking at this tweet, we already seen that you could have characters like Fakamram, Armor King, and those characters are playing Tekken 8. Oh, what is that? Oh, a raid. Hey, thank you for the raid, bro. I love that sound. Thank you for the raid, bro. I appreciate it. You know, Armor King is a Tekken 8 character, but he's still really fun. Even if the characters do remain Tekken 8, it still can be fun. They say back to the basics, but those buff stances have me feeling like they closing the gaps even further, which isn't a good sign. So this person has a screenshot of the devs. Well, sure, the announcement was hype and it looks surprisingly promising, but let's wait and see until we get our hands on it. So they're showing the part there where the developers are talking about that's why I see for season 2 we'd like to focus more on defense in terms of the lateral aspect of the 3D game. The reason why this happened, and I said this before and I'll say it again, the reason why this happened is because Nakatsu basically wasn't doing his job. That's a harsh way of saying it, but it's the easiest way to say it. He admitted himself he was giving feedback to the development team. Like Twitter would give the devs feedback. The devs is these 3 guys you see here. Those 3 guys would pass that information to the actual balancing team. And they did do that. It is true that they done that, right? But the issue is that the balancing team was working on multiple other things as well. They would give the balancing team probably 20 ideas, but the overall update has 1,500 things in it. When that update goes live, yes, you can sidestep from crouch, but also the balancing team put homing mids in there. And the reason why I said, Nakatsu wasn't doing his job, 1, he said that, but then 2, he didn't oversee that. If he would have been looking at the patch notes before it went out, he would have been like, wait, what is this? What is happening? They did what? And then maybe I don't know, maybe it would have, but he apologized. They all apologized. And in season 2, after that point, Nakatsu said, I will oversee every patch notes. That's what he said after season 2. And after season 2, every update has been good. With him overseeing it, with the balancing devs changing out, every update has been good. It is crazy that Nakatsu would not be overseeing the patch notes. That's like the main part of the game. We'll have to see though. Right now, that's the excuse, is that Nakatsu wasn't overseeing the patch notes. With season 3, if it comes out just like season 2, we would know that that was just an excuse and those guys are just idiots. So that's, I will buy that excuse. The reason why I'm buying that excuse is because Armor King, Fakaram, and Marizu was fire. It was fire. So I'll buy it. If you say that you weren't looking at the patch and that's why it turned out the way that it did, okay, I'll buy that. Because you shown me a couple of months after that of good work. Yeah, show a clip of Kazuya 112 into laser wall splat. Wait, does it wall splat? Does it wall splat? Let's look at the trailer. Does it wall splat? Because I was going to say the reason why it doesn't side switch anymore is because of, there was a joke out there. The developers learned that the Mishimas can't play on player 2 side. So where's that move at? So right here, bottom right corner is what we want to pay attention to. Bottom right corner. Does that wall splat? Okay, we need someone who's really good at the game to tell us whether or not you think you can Kazuya combo off of this. You think you can Kazuya combo off of that? How long is taking him to recover? Because he's still recovering. And she is sliding off of the wall now. She is sliding, right? Do you think yes, we can. You could combo off of that? CD1+2? You think CD1+2 would cover that gap and work? Yeah, it's a maybe. It's a maybe. Okay, so look. So we all kind of agree maybe, right? If it does wall splat and you could combo off of it, then this is a ridiculous buff. If it's just no longer a side switch, because that's what it was. In season 2, it's side switch. And the joke is that the developers gave Kazuya this side switching move, but none of the Mishimas know how to do electric from P2 side. So basically doing that move would put you at a disadvantage because you can't do electrics anymore. That was the joke. But if that's not the reason why they changed this move from being a side switch, if they changed it to being a wall splat, that would be a crazy buff if it's 112 wall splats. Amazingly well crafted announcement. Show Reina doing a homing move after down 1+2, 15 frame mid, and Lee going into HMS after slide. Yeah, the HMS after slide is kind of diabolical. It's we don't really need to do a whole maybe this, maybe that. We can see that is some nonsense. Pay attention to your bottom right. Look at this. So Lee is doing a slide here. Slide, advantage on block or on hit to mix up. That's not good. I hate that slide. I hate that slide. And the fact that slide goes into that stance for a mix, that's not good. 2 things that I've seen so far about season 3 that I absolutely do not like. Reina's move being a high, and then this Lee move being this like a slide into a stance. But we'll see. Look, I'm just trying to be honest about this conversation. This is what they showed us. This is what the players are saying. Me personally, I'll say it again. I am excited about this update. I'm happy about this update. I think it looks cool. This person says the man is allowed to be hopeful considering the amount of FDX streams and plays. I agree. Yeah, if you look at this tweet from FDX and you're like, oh, here goes Shieldy X again. It's like, nah, bro, he's just excited the same way that I'm excited. I think people are allowed to be excited and allowed to have hope, and it's up to the developers to not let us down. Everyone's excited, or everyone wants to be excited, but in a month time, the people who are excited shouldn't be then labeled as shills. If that happens, it's a failure on the development part, right?